Welcome in. It's a Road Winners Lounge on the DNVR Rapids podcast presented by Ivaka TV. Thank you guys so much for joining us after the wildest MLS game of the season. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, aka Merchel. And we got a lineup tonight, guys. We got the people to do this with. Of course, the art director, the man with the graphics, downtown Duane Brown.
Let's go.
Let's go,
that
buddy.
Road win, baby.
Let's go. The man who called it, the clairvoyant one. He called the win. He was saying it all week. He called it this morning when I walked into the office, and we got it.
I've been shamed all week, and now I deliver to you all. Road win blessings.
Duane looked into his crystal ball and saw nothing but rushing rapids enveloping the city of New York and the state of New Jersey.
It was very day after tomorrow.
The man with the eloquent words right there, of course, the incomparable man himself, the guy with the stats, the guy with the knowledge, the guy who's going to tell us all the first sense that happened in this game because there was a bunch of them. Joseph Samuelson, what's up, dude? What is up?
I got one for you right off the bat.
Hit me.
Colorado's 100th road victory.
Bang,
in
bang,
MLS
bang,
history.
Bang, 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 bang.
They've been looking for it since October 31st last year. After
that was
Dominic
number.
Boggy.
That was 99.
That was number 99. We saw 10 road games in the league this year. Losses, draws, poor performances. But tonight, we get to celebrate.
That was, definitely celebrate. Absolutely. That game had quite literally everything you could ever ask for in an MLS game.
Except good defense.
Except good defense. And it's funny because I would be like, well, Lucas and Keegan had good games, but that had nothing to do with defense. So let's just kind of break this down. Let's walk through it. We're gonna be pulling up comments as we go. Obviously, this is a night to celebrate. We got playoffs are still there for the taking. They didn't eliminate themselves from this, at least. I shouldn't say there for the taking, but they did not eliminate themselves from the conversation. They go down 1-0 in the 4th minute. Is that right? 4th minute, 5th minute? And
6th, I believe, yeah.
Okay. I'll give them a little more credit than that.
6th.
By the 9th minute, the Rapids are down 2-0. 2-0. And you're like, oh, great. Because Joseph, correct me if I'm wrong, this is another first sense or first period. They had not come back from a 2-goal deficit this season to win, correct?
That is correct. And they have not – they've also had not – I believe they had not won a game where their opponents have scored more than
one goal.
More than two. Oh, yeah. Actually, no. Yeah, this is their first non-clean sheet win.
Yeah, of the whole season. Yeah.
So yes, first victory with
gave up 4 goals. What a way to do it.
It doesn't make any sense. Listen, and I said this right after full time that this team this year just defies all explanation and analysis. This is a team that will outplay a bad team for an entire 90-minute stretch and still lose. And then they'll do what they did tonight. Score 5 goals, 8 shots on target.
Yeah.
8.
Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going on the goals because they were down 2-0 after 9 minutes, right? And you're like, this is it. This is the story of the Rapids. Is if they go down, they are done, right? Like it's over. We have seen it time and time again. If they go down, the game is done, right? And I was ready to type that. I think my writing that I just said dude ... on the Twitter account because I was just like I was blown away that that's what we were dealing with. Rubio gets one back on a really nice goal. Rubio had a hell of a game. He was playing all over the pitch. So he gets it to 2-1.
Really nice steal from Acosta leading up to that goal too. Made a huge tackle to force a turnover and just, that gave Colorado really just the 10 seconds they needed for Rubio to get into that space.
He put it right on his right in stride with his right foot. He one-timed it in there. 2-1. Okay, we're feeling good. That was 21st minute. 28th minute. Penalty awarded to New York. Man, that I don't know. I mean, it was deserved. It was this was the meltdown from Lawless Abubakar, right? Like, Duane, you're a lawless guy, right? Or am I the lawless guy? And
I am. But we're both lawless guys.
We're lawless men.
Listen, we're all lawless guys until he
didn't have a great start to the match whatsoever.
It was turnover. It was very bad. And then this one was just get rid of the ball. He tried to pass it or with his left foot to Keegan behind him on his right. It went 4 feet into the stride of I don't even remember who scored or who drew the penalty, but he chases him down. Yeah, he pulls him down from behind. Red card, gets pulled because Danny sprinted and maybe would have gotten in front before the shot went off. I don't think he would have, but hey, we'll take it. No red card, except it's 3-1. It's 3-1 going into half. No. It's not going 3-1 into half. You know why? Because we got the Keegan Rosenberry rocket in the 38th minute. It was the goal I've been looking for a really long time. It was off a deep throw in. Rubio with the assist kicked it out to Keegan at the top of the box, right foot to the far corner. Never really got more than maybe a foot off the ground, 2 feet off the ground. Just an absolute missile. Put it right where it needed to be. Keegan was due. I even told him that when I saw him the other day at practice. I said he was due, and what do you know? He gets one. You're welcome. That's me.
Thanks, Mitch.
Yeah. So there you go.
But he does legitimately get one of those
every year,
every single year.
Yeah.
And worth noting, because I feel like it's going to get lost in all this, but Rubio assisted that goal.
Yeah.
So two big goal contributions from Rubio in the first half today.
So 3-2 going into the half. And even then you're like, okay, look, they made it a respectable game. It wasn't just a complete meltdown. They fought back. It's 3-2. If they get a draw, great, cool, whatever. I think a ton of chances. So Lawless gets subbed off at the half. Mikey B comes in, and this was the move. I mean, this is the move, right? This is all credit due to Robin Fraser here. He saw that the 5-back wasn't working. And hey, Judgmental Jim, my guy, good to see you in the chat, bud.
Do we give that much credit? Do we give that much credit to Frazier for switching to something he should have started the game with to be,
I mean, no, but you do have to point out that he understood that what he did
he made the adjustment.
Yes,
he did make the adjustment.
We've needed that to see that. And
previous coaches in Rapids history would not have made that tactical
And Duane,
change.
I mean, you know how stubborn Frazier can be, right? When he thinks he has it, I mean, you know what I mean? Sorry, but we're all wrong and he's right.
Yeah, dude is full of confidence, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it just depends on how the players are doing that night, or that day. And stubbornness is what it is, but the tricky part of being stubborn for Fraser is that it also relies on the guys on the pitch, and so he can own all of that confidence, but ultimately it's the guys that have to pay it off. And tonight it did, he saw it wasn't working. He, had the wisdom and, confidence to make that switch up. And I know I called it, but I did not think it was going to be absolute chaos. So here we are. And
so it's 3-2 at the half, right? So it's 3-2 at the half. Mikey B comes on, and I mean, this pays dividends immediately. Immediately you see the attack, right? Lewis is opening up that left side completely. I thought he was fantastic for he went off in when did Lewis go off? Sorry. He went off in about the 65th minute. So he had about 20 minutes where I thought he just kind of set the tone on that left side, fully opened it up. Lucas kind of took over that later, and we'll get into, I think he was another really good bright spot. We'll get more into that. So back and forth, but mostly Rapids on the attack. 77th minute, corner kick. Max puts one right on the goal. I really thought he was going to get it. But rebound goes right to Colin Warner, buries it. We're tied. Colin Warner, of all people, first goal of the season, first goal since the LA game last year. Was he one of the scores? Was that the 5-2 LA game last year where he scored? Or was it the previous? Either way, Colin Warner, who would have called that one?
Definitely none of the people in my mentions at the start of the game who were not happy about seeing him in the lineup.
I called it a weird 11.
For what it's worth, like I include myself in like looking at that lineup at, when Fraser put it out before the game and being like, okay, Warner and Viacia, I just don't see how this is gonna work. And for what it's worth, like the biggest problem I had in all of that was just Fraser in starting out the 5-back, just because the 4-back had been so good at creating chances in previous games. And so credit him for realizing that Abubakar was having a bad game, pulling him, but bringing in Barrios, who, like you said, immediately paid dividends on the field. Just such a strong performance from him.
Yeah. I mean, just beautiful.
Warner getting the goal.
Warner gets the goal. 4 minutes later, Mikey B, who I thought in that last 15 minutes or so, he was just playing with his food at that point. He was running forward, running backwards, just getting around everybody. And if I'm not, did Rubio set this play up too?
Rubio set up this goal too.
Does he get 2 assists on the night?
He gets 2 assists and a goal. And 3 of the Rapids' 5 goals tonight.
Just a nice find. Again, in stride, finds a guy breaking from the outside. Barrios gives him the lead, and I lost my mind. My dog thought I was going crazy. Maybe the world was ending or something. I was jumping up and down. Couldn't believe it. Still can't really believe it because 6 minutes later, Yaya's guy, Yaya, who has found his stride at Rapids too. I thought has had some decent moments off the bench in the last month or so with the senior team. He gets one. He gets the 5th after one got taken away, which I don't know about that. I mean, Joseph, was that call good? I didn't think so.
I mean, I think it's a justifiable call. How about that?
Sure.
I don't like to engage in a bunch of ref blaming discourse, honestly, just because I think. But listen, it was definitely brutal for him to have that called back because I felt like he really did deserve that goal. But hey, he got it in the end.
We got another one.
Yeah, exactly, right. So you could take a ball don't lie position. How about that? On Yaya Toure tonight, But
yeah, I mean, look, he went and got another one. He cleaned up another rebound. Man.
And that's what the Rapids have been missing all season.
Is clean
because
up. Clean up duty.
And that was something that Bassett was doing all season in 2021 was he was that late arrival into the box and just either scoring a rebound or scoring like a late pass after all the forwards had been marked by defenders in the box, and the Rapids just haven't really been scoring a lot of rebound goals like that this season. And so fair play to Toure for finally being that guy who's in the right place at the right time.
He really was
tonight. And honestly, like in his last 3 Rapids 2 games, he scored 5 goals, including one against the reserve team of Wolves from the Premier League 2. Yeah, right. So he's been lighting it up recently at that level, and honestly, really deserves to get an extended run out in the first team. And yeah, absolutely what Yaya's saying in the chat. We gotta hype up this. We gotta hype up Toure, man, because honestly, like he's
been great. He's what's been missing, man.
Well, he's made a great case to come in and like actually get a start. And I'm not like, I can't believe I'm saying that, because at the start of the season when he first got underway with Rapids 2, he would have some good moments here and there, but nothing like honestly, over the last 2 months, he has completely changed. He's become a completely different player, creating so many chances for R2 and scoring so many goals. really pleased that he was able to get on the board tonight.
So that was the 89th minute, right? And we're like, all right, buried the win. It is locked up. We won the game. Like, for sure. Winner's Lounge. I was ready. I was so hyped. I was screaming. I was setting up my mic and stuff. And nope. Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. Barlow draws a penalty, 90+7. Draws a pen, or buries the penalty. Draws the penalty, and probably 90+5. Rapids do every possible thing they can to waste time, including Barrios just standing over the ball while Yarbrough's spraying his face with a water bottle 2 minutes after the penalty. Barrios gets the yellow time wasting, but Barlow buries it. Okay, it is now the 98th minute. We're just going to play this thing out. It's going to be fine. We're just going to ride out the win. They made it 5-4. Okay, fine. Rapids turn it over. Immediately, New York sends it down. Barlow gets the header on was it a corner? I don't know. I was losing my mind. I'm running.
No, I think it was recycled. Yeah. I think it was recycled play. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a recycled play. Sends it in. Barlow puts it right over Yarby. It was a beautiful header with the red smoke from the supporter section coming through the goal. And he was about an arm offside, shoulder offside. I mean, he was offside. I think that was a good call, but man, my heart hit the floor. My stomach hit the floor. I was like, are we really going to go do a draw lounge right now? Like, are we going to go do a tied lounge right now? Like, that's what's going to happen to us. Like, of course, right? That would be the most Rapids way possible. Cause it looked close enough that in my head, it was good watching it live. Duane, Mr. called it all, made the winner graphic, ready to drop the Statue of Liberty holding a paddle. What was going through your head on that header that wasn't? What, like, just describe your state of mind.
Just utter disappointment. There were lots of ups and downs, and if the folks in the comments could read our comments over at DNVR as we're discussing the game, I was not full of confidence at several points during this match. Yeah. And that one was just, I was ready. I was so ready to finally talk about winning a game on the road. I knew it was going to happen. It didn't look like it was going to happen. And then somehow the Rapids do everything that I've been complaining about, which is not showing any teeth to like fight back. Not showing that dog. And
there was lots of dogs on the field tonight, brother.
And they did it, and I was ready to celebrate. And then they did the most Rapids thing that they could do, which was to give up a very, very late goal. But they didn't. So I was happy to see that offside. And I do, they showed the replay, and it was certainly
he was about a quarter to a third of a person offside, so clearly offside. It was not controversial.
It wasn't one of these like pinky fingers.
No, he was certainly off.
It was,
so we're gonna be fine. Yeah, we don't have to feel bad about it. They play another 90 seconds plus, and it felt like an hour. It was
the longest 90 seconds of the year, man.
Where's this whistle? Yes. I think they ended up playing just under 101 minutes before he finally blew the whistle. I just I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just we got the win. We got the winner's lounge. We got the road win.
And you know what's crazy about all of this is that we just talked about 9 goals.
Yeah.
And we still did not talk about how this game had a pitch invader and a player from the New York Red Bulls losing their number off their jersey. Like,
there was a pitch invader?
Yeah,
right.
But I
didn't see it.
They didn't.
It was right. It was during the tie at the very end.
It was right after. It was right.
Or was it during the PK?
It was during the penalty. Yeah. So it was when I believe it was Rosenberry who committed the foul on
he did.
Luquinhas.
And it was a foul. Yeah, it was a foul.
And crazy, the same player from the Red Bulls drew both of their penalties
Yeah.
tonight,
Yeah.
Luquinhas, and like while all that was going on, just the number had been ripped off according to the
Of whose
MSG.
kid?
Luquinhas.
Really?
He was just playing the final like 5 minutes of stoppage time with a blank kit. His like number had been just like ripped off. Nobody had any like they didn't show like when and how it happened. Just 1 minute he was playing with a number, and then the next minute he wasn't.
That is, look.
It was
The Red
it
Bulls-
was the drunkest game I
The
have
only thing
ever
we were
seen.
missing was what a dog coming onto the field and taking the ball away for a second, like, which we've seen happen before. So I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of. Okay, so obviously Rubio goal and 2 assists. He is clearly man of the match. Cannot take that away from him. Let's take that away. Let's say not eligible for man of the match because it's too easy. Duane, who would be then your man of the match for the Rapids?
Man, aside from that, penalty at the end, I thought Keegan had a really nice game.
Yeah, and I don't
So-
think that was like I mean, in terms
Yeah.
of penalties, that's not, I wouldn't call that a bad penalty. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
had to get on, I mean, whatever.
But I
2-goal
I
lead.
felt Keegan had a great match. So I'll put in for Keegan. I thought Rosenberry had a great game.
Love that. Joseph, any words on Keegan before you give us your player?
No, I think Keegan had a really good game.
Great game.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him, especially after a handful of games where he wasn't super on the ball. So it was nice to see him rebound with a strong performance and get a goal. As far as my my non-Rubio man of the match, I mean, that's pretty hard. I think there's a lot of players that have a case. I think Brian Acosta generally did pretty well.
Yep.
Like I was not impressed with him in the first half, but his second half performance was really strong. I think he led the team in total key passes on the night, set up a lot of chances. He had a few. If
He was
he set
25 of 30 on passes.
yeah, if you
Yeah, the nifty free kick.
4 chances created, 1 big chance created, 1 shot off target.
Yeah, I think he had a strong game in midfield. I mean, and listen, I'm like half tempted just to give a nice little nod over to Yaya Toure because should have had 2 goals. Should have had 2 goals tonight, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
how
those
about-
are those are definitely.
And also, I'm really ecstatic to see Michael Barrios finally putting in like finally coming on as an impact sub and just having a great game. He did this against the Galaxy, or was it the RSL?
To me, Nashville's the game to me where he really came on and just took over.
Yeah.
Obviously,
he's had a hand.
not the best
he's had a handful
result,
of this.
but I mean, that was like, okay, maybe Mikey's the super sub this year, right? Like that was where the first time you really saw it, and you're like, man, like that is like faster than everybody, great control with the ball at his feet, able to do these 30-yard runs, stop on a dime, not give up the ball, assess where he's at, make the right play after that. I was just I mean, just super impressed with him.
And something else I also wanted to comment on, just like while I had him on my mind, is that the Red Bull commentators were talking about how their team, the Red Bulls, just looked really gassed after sort of the 80th minute.
Hey, shout out Cody over there. Just want to say you're the man.
Oh yeah,
since you're leaving,
for sure.
You're in here all the time. Shout out Winners Lounge, baby. All right, keep going, Joseph.
Yeah, but they were just talking about how much more fit they saw the Rapids, and that's something that. I mean, it's obviously altitude has a role in that, and it's just been more surprising that we haven't seen more like road warrior type performances like these, considering the advantage that the Rapids have at playing half of their games a mile high.
They've been working on that. Like, I mean, fitness is certainly like a very big point of emphasis over at Dick's Sporting Goods Park on training days for sure. And we saw it in practice. They're doing a lot of agility stuff, doing, ladders to jumps to side cuts to and then they're doing like long ball kind of recovery drills where it's like sprint, catch the long ball at your feet. And it showed tonight, and it showed. That's kind of why I wish they went with the 4-3-3 from the start. Is because if you had Barrios Lewis pushing those wings, they would have been tired 15 minutes sooner. They would have been they were gassed by that 77th minute goal where that Warner tied it up with. Man, can you believe that 77th minute and then 89? So 12 minutes, 3 goals to just put it away. I still can't get over it. The guy, I don't think you can give him man of the match. I don't think he was as good as the two guys that you said, but I thought Lucas had his best game of the season. Maybe that might be. I might have to look back early in the season, but definitely since the international break. So this is now the 8th game since the international break.
I think he set up 2 goals in either that Kansas City win or that Atlanta win near the start of the season. But this was definitely a strong performance for him, like since that game. Like
it was the mustache, dude. He brought the mustache out. He looked great.
He made a few really good really important clearances too. Like, I mean,
yeah, and he was just all over the place, and you know, especially because since that 5-4 back change really went into effect, I feel like him and Keegan both haven't spent as much time rushing forward. And at the end of the game, that break where Yaya didn't get the goal on, he led that, and it was him and Yaya and Max on that break, and they looked amazing. So I don't know. I mean, obviously Lucas, like I said, had a great game, very good game for him. Not man of the match worthy, but I did just want to point that out. I thought you especially noticed it late. With his speed and control of the ball. Max had a good game. Nikki D asked what we thought of it. I think he's been pretty decent lately. He still gets stuck in wanting to do the step over, make a move. And this time he did the step over, pass it out, let someone else away. And that was the best thing I've seen from him in a while.
He's just too cute, man.
He is.
He's just too cute with the ball.
Yep.
I'm still not seeing the level of like hustle that I've come to expect from like a Colorado Rapids player under Frazier. That's the one thing the Rapids do under Frazier is that they run the whole damn game.
Yep.
And I just haven't seen that level of intensity from Max yet. But it's, you know, I'm sure like you can see the glimpses. You can see that there's potential there.
I thought tonight he had some sauce for sure. Finesse. Great with the ball at his feet. Nice little subtle movements here and there. Man, so bit of news popped up during the game.
Hang on, before we get into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we're wrapping up this game.
Totally. I mean, we're not. Let's not. Let's keep going. Yeah.
I was wondering if you could tell me if I wanted to watch this game 3 or 4 times.
We're doing that. You're right. God, you're smart. God,
but how would I do that?
Dwayne, this is why
I get to watch this game.
Dwayne,
it was so amazing. Let
me tell you. Because the homies right there next to Joseph's face, right over there, Ivaka TV, the homies, they sponsor us. They don't just sponsor our show. They've sponsored the Nuggets and Avs takeovers last season that we went over to Ball Arena. They are a great partner. They are the GOAT in Colorado sports coverage. They have Altitude. Catch the last season of Altitude, man. Fleming and Cello are just doing great. They just are. You can tell that they're trying to put everything they have been working on for years together into the season, and you see it in these podcasts they're putting out. And look,
it's good stuff.
It is. It's good stuff. So catch that. AT&T Sportsnet. If you're a Rockies-man, look, if you're a Rockies fan, you're a fan of the only team that didn't make a trade this season. So, you know, catch all that.
That's confidence.
Catch that.
You can only catch on Ivaka TV.
That is confidence.
And listen, if you're
the funniest way you could put that.
And listen, if you're a Rockies fan, you'll feel right at home rooting for the Colorado Rapids. So,
oh yeah, welcome in, baby.
Welcome to the club.
Look, you get crystal clear HD TV using less bandwidth. You get the most regional sports for the lowest price for sports entertainment in Colorado. You get over 60 entertainment channels, news, movies, more. It's only $25 a month plus a $5 receiver fee. Right now, Colorado sports fans get $10 off per month for your first 3 months. So that's only $15 a month for 3 months. Get you right through to the end of the Rapids season. To score this deal, go to evoca.tv/Colorado10. That's EVOCA.tv/Colorado10. Turn your home into the ultimate game viewing zone. You can even stream your teams on a phone, laptop, or tablet when you're on the go. You can also add on Sling to get ESPN and more. Get a discounted rate when bundling with Sling. There's no contracts. There's no catches. Ivaca TV is made for champions or just road winners, baby. And we know this, Yaya's going to watch this game like 18 times between now and Thursday's show.
Man is on his honeymoon and he still needs that
He's
Rapids.
back. He's back today. He came
Yeah,
back
today
today.
was his travel day.
Today was
back.
his
He
travel
still
day
managed
and
to
day
pop
off.
into the
So,
comments.
Shout out to Yaya, man. Living it up in Mexico. Comes back to the wildest possible Rapids game we could ever even ask for. So yeah, I mean, look, Rapids, man, they got the win. Deadline is Thursday. Transfer window closes. Now a team in Chile put out an official, our guy is coming in to the Rapids on loan till the end of the season. Joseph, do you want to break down the former MLS and Kansas City player for us right now? Give us the pitch, the elevator pitch on him joining the Rapids.
You're right. So Felipe Gutierrez, he's a creative attacking midfielder. He currently plays at I don't know how to pronounce it in Spanish, but it's the Catholic University.
Católicas,
yeah. It's based, it's like a Tigres or UNAM. It's a team representing a university in Chile. He's previously played with SKC, had one amazing season, and he had 2 seasons that were just riddled with injuries, including one full year where he was out following
100 appearances.
Surgery.
Is that right? 100 MLS appearances?
No, about half that.
50. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
about 50. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
about 50 with like I want to say goals in the high teens, like 19 goals or something like that.
Not terrible.
So yeah,
like
he was
that.
pretty productive, but the problem is, he after that knee surgery, he pretty much fell off.
Went to Chile.
He didn't. So Sporting KC offered him a new contract after basically they let him go into the reentry draft, which is what happens to the players who aren't eligible for free agency. And then they selected him in the reentry draft and offered him a smaller contract, which he didn't take. So he went back to Chile.
Okay.
As a result, the Rapids are going to need to. So this wasn't announced yet with Gutierrez's current club, but basically to get Gutierrez into Colorado, the Rapids will have to trade for his MLS rights from SKC.
Do you expect that to be expensive?
I expect it to be in the 50 to 100K allocation money range. So it's going to be, I wouldn't expect it to be more than an international slot would cost on an average year. He's a creative midfielder. Rapids are, according to Gutierrez's club, they're signing him on a loan through the end of the year. Cool. Typically, loans in MLS require they don't require, but typically they include an option to buy. We don't know if that's included here, but it's usually been part of Porig's MO with a lot of foreign players to bring them in with loan to option to buy. It's actually how they wanted Max this year. And when they initially wanted to bring him in, they wanted him on a loan to buy and eventually just set it on the full transfer. But yeah, he's going to come in. He's going to immediately, I think, compete with, whatever minutes Max was going to get in the attacking midfield. I think his presence might also allow the Rapids to put Rubio back into a striker position if they want. If they wanted to drop Zardes for a game or two and give him a rest, because let's be honest, Zardes is pretty much played.
Yeah. Question
every
from
single
B-Ray
game.
there. I don't know if you saw that B-Ray question in the chat. Did he ever play with Rubio in Kansas City? Or did they just miss each other?
I believe they just missed each other by 1 year. I could be wrong on this, but Gutierrez's first season, I believe, was 20. Oh, wait, no, it was 2018. So they might have played 1 or 2 games together.
Okay.
Rubio came to the Rapids, I want to say, I actually can't remember if Rubio came at the end of 2018 or 2019, but
there's not enough of a connection to say this is the team that they wanted to put back together.
For me, this is clearly a stopgap move while they wait for Max to sort of show up more in the attacking.
Galvan
midfield.
to get healthy, et cetera, et cetera,
exactly.
et cetera.
Exactly.
Okay. Duane, downtown Duane Brown. What do you make of this? Because this will cut into Max's minutes. This might cut into some Yaya appearances. like he said, this could just push Rubio up and Zardes out for a game, or just on subs or whatever. So what's your initial reaction to hearing how he's going to fit into the team?
I'm okay with that and giving Zardes some rest on there. I know that we all frequently are, not the biggest Zardes supporters, though I think he's shown every game that he's I think the gelling is getting a little better every match. And I will say this, towards the end, and I put on Twitter, I was like, if ever there were a match for Zardes to be the guy we were hoping for him to be, like this is it. And this is when we were still down. And, and then we're up, and then Zardes gets the ball, and he just takes it down the side and just blows some time and then gets the throw in too. And I'm like, that's enough. I will take that.
That was enough.
I'm good because here's the thing.
Sure.
Because in previous games, we would have turned that ball over, and it would have gone poorly. And so to me, was it an easy play to do? Yep. And should a guy with that much wisdom and experience in the game itself do that? Yep. And he did it. And I was like, so happy, because we've been talking about all of these late half, just
mistakes near the whistle,
vaporizers happening to the Rapids. And I don't know what that is, but it didn't happen right there. And so I was happy with that.
Cool.
But yeah, to give him a rest and try out something, the playoffs are not guaranteed. And so right now we are still fighting, and it is an uphill battle. Like, let's make no mistake about where we are right now. It's not a given. Every game has to be like tonight. Like, it's got to be, I would prefer like more right out of the gate, just smash them down and let's cruise into the second half. But F it. If chaos is how we get there,
chaos
then
it is, baby.
I'm all for rebranding this club the Colorado Chaos, and we
Love
move forward and just create chaos for 90 minutes every week.
To me, this is and I'm obviously not privy to these conversations. I don't talk to Porig that often. I don't talk to Frazier that often. But to me, this is like, hey, I think I can make the playoffs. I don't know if these young guys are the ones that can make that happen. They go and get a guy who has played MLS minutes, has scored goals at an MLS level, and he feels can play off of the attacking guys that have been playing well over the last couple months. Joseph, does that, you kind of had a look on your face there? Is that agreement? Not like, I'm just curious. I'm just curious what you're like, because you kind of told us who he is, but I mean, do you like the move? Like, how do you grade the move?
So this is how I felt about a lot of the Colorado Rapids moves over the last year. And that is, I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. Like, that's sort of like exactly where I stand on this. And like, I think it's the Rapids are just in a really weird position because they have a lot of promising talent that's just not there yet. And like, we expect that it's going to get there with time, but it's clearly not there, right now. Like, we can't, like Viacia, who, has just not been, he's not been the trusty replacement everybody's been hoping for. Max has not been the Bassett replacement everybody's been hoping for. Brian Acosta has not been the Kellen Acosta replacement everybody has been hoping for. I mean, hell, you can even go all the way back to Lucas Estevez and whether or not he's lived up to the standard that Vine set at the start of 2021. Right. But, listen, the pieces are there for long-term success, I still feel. But, I was having a good conversation with Jason Maxwell about this when the trade was first rumored, and we sort of settled on that this is kind of a play that the Rapids should make if they were right on the cusp of a home playoff game. Right. And they wanted to move up like one or two spots.
And we were talking about this over the weekend too.
Yeah. And I'm not sure it's a bump 3 or 4 spots up the table. Now, I think it's still good. I think especially like for a loan to the end of the year where there's not a lot of investment, like straight up from Colorado, I think that makes good financial sense. And this has generally been true with Porg's transfers, is that they make financial and MLS roster wonkery sense. Right. He seems to they're never like like the last time the Rapids went out and got an everyday starter, like a starter that you felt comfortable like putting out there for every single game, I feel like that was Yarbrough.
Zardes.
But everybody's not, as we were saying earlier, like everybody's not super hyped on Zardes.
Well, I mean, the results don't bear it out, but I think when we did emergency pod in the comments for hyped on getting but yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. It's usually these margin moves. It's these galaxy brain kind of moves that Ford can make because he does have a galaxy brain compared to the other people running MLS teams, in my opinion. I mean, I think he's as good as it gets. And he operates within a budget, and I think he makes his dollars go farther than most right now.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
Max can kind of screw that up a little bit because it was a lot of dollars, right? So he would hopefully make those dollars go farther for him. But for the most part, I'm going to trust this move until the play on the field tells me otherwise. Let's look at the standings because this is a short turnaround now. They're at home for Minnesota on Saturday evening, 7:00 at the Dick. Colorado now sits 10th, a game in hand with every team. So they're tied with Vancouver on points, ahead on goal differential. So from 11th to 7th, they have a game in hand on everyone except LA, which they're 3 points behind LA. They are 4 points behind 7th Portland. So in theory, they could be 1 point out of the playoffs come Saturday. In theory.
A lot of things have to happen. Yeah.
Well, no, not a lot of things. Well, yeah, you're right.
That's a lot of teams to lose or tie.
1, 2, 3 teams to lose. Tie. Yeah, you're right. Good point. But Minnesota, and we were watching this, or we didn't watch the Minnesota game together this weekend, but we did watch all the evening games. We're talking about this. Minnesota is down Laud. They're down
Reynoso and Boxall.
And they're down Boxall. So 3 starters are out on yellow accumulation.
Got some lovely yellow card help.
Yes. So probably B-Ray said it in the comments there. They're missing their arguably best 3 players, I'm sure.
Reynoso is absolutely the best.
Reynoso is dope.
He's the best player to ever wear a Loons kit.
And he had a hell of a game against Portland.
And he has a hell of a game pretty much every time he plays Colorado, I feel. The man is always setting up chances. Even if he doesn't get on the score sheet, he's always a big threat. So the fact that, like, honestly, without, like, even if Boxall and Lod were still get down for this game, like, Reynoso alone would have been a huge miss for Minnesota. And now they're without their starting captain, like the leader of their back line, like their equivalent to, like, I guess their Jack Price of defense, if you will. Sure. And, and without a key box to box midfielder in Robin Lod, and without,
I thought also played really well against Portland this weekend in a barn burner 4-4 game, one of the better games of the season until tonight, obviously.
And maybe, and just maybe, we might finally see the return of Captain Jack Price this weekend. I'm not getting my hopes up too high, but I think this is a good chance for him to get some sub minutes at home, for sure.
Play the first 45. Just play him the first.
Or that, yeah, that works too.
That's the Robin move. We've seen it for years.
I'll take it to have a better first half. Maybe Price is what we need. We've got fight in the second half.
Why would you point out a lot of brain farts
in the first? So hey, if Price only gets a half, I'll put him up front, and as long as that's not a threat to re-injure. I mean, he and the club are the only ones who can make that call. But hey, man, if he's healthy enough to go and it's not a risk,
why not?
Oh, I would love to see him out there, man. Like, it would really be something special. Something that I think we all need to see right now,
So Price wasn't out there tonight, obviously, still out since June with a calf injury. Also not there was Ralph Prizo, was the prize of the Mark Anthony K trade. Definitely the biggest piece.
He was on the bench
in this window. He was on the bench, but he started both games since he's been on the team. Played 45. Well, no, not the first game, but that was right before.
Game, but he came that day.
But then he started 45. Played 45. Played 60. Not featured tonight. Was that just let's go take care of business? Sorry, kid. you can watch and learn from the sideline this time?
I think you could. I think someone, or some people might be inclined to read the move to not start Prizo as a Frazier is saving him for a home game against a depleted team.
Let's go. Yeah.
In which case,
On
that
short
might
rest. Yeah.
It's a
and
short
that
week.
might be
Yeah.
that might be bad news for a potential Price start. We don't know.
Or maybe he's just going to
but
finish. Maybe Price on, and I think B-Ray said that in the comments. Yeah, 45 minutes Price. Give us 45 of Prizo after that.
So
Why
I
not?
think maybe Priso
Yeah.
not playing tonight is a pretty big indicator that he's due for substantial minutes this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, so especially because I thought he would start because it wasn't just a week, right? He got 9 days instead to be ready for this game. He was training at home the whole time, and that is anytime you talk to anybody about Ralph, it's like, oh man, we're so hyped to have him. He's just got to get in shape, and not in shape. Obviously, he's a professional athlete. He's in shape, but is he
Altitude
in play
shape.
at elevation? Yes, correct. So let's see. I don't think anyone got another yellow to miss this weekend. Lucas maybe
would be
got one at the end.
Estevez,
Yeah.
hold on. I want to see if he actually did or not to make sure. But no, it was just Barrios, Vallecilla, Rubio, and Abubakar
So there you go.
getting yellows tonight.
No yellow accumulation. So Rapids will have
Estevez and
everyone
Acosta are each one away.
one away. So would you want to see the second half starting lineup starting against Minnesota?
I don't think you start Barrios.
You don't?
I don't think you do after
Would you
how
start
good
Nicholson?
he's looked off
Or-
the bench recently.
Yeah. So would you start Nicholson if he's back? I mean, what would you do there? Max look good. Yaya look good.
I'm not big on Max on the wings. I'd honestly rather prefer starting Yaya on the
why
wings
not?
than
Oh my
than
God,
Max.
Yaya would lose. Yeah, here.
He
Our
would
Yaya
lose it.
would lose
I
his
don't think it'll
freaking mind.
happen. But as Mark is pointing out in the comments,
Yeah.
the Rapids are going to need a lot of rotation this month.
Yeah.
Big stretch of matches. So I mean, listen, if there was ever a time to give Yaya Toure a start, I mean, it's got to be right after he scores his first senior league goal
Should have had two.
for his 6th
Yeah.
goal in 4 games.
Yeah. Do it. Start him. Do it. I dare you.
I think
I dare
it's
you,
gotta
Robin
happen.
Fraser. I know you're listening
and I
to this
think-
podcast after the fact. I know you're listening.
Well, and I think this is where you see all of those moves that Porig has made that have not been like blockbuster moves, and whether you're not, like Joseph said, like he's not excited, but he's not disappointed either. This is why those moves happened, is because I think Porig. I don't even think. I know Porig. We all know Porig knows what's coming down. He sees his team is on the brink. We've got a tough month of August,
Yeah,
and
7
so
matches.
now we
Yeah,
have
wow.
depth, and depth is something that has obliterated us in the past.
Mhm.
We've run the same lineup almost every match in the past couple of years, which they were great, but when it comes time for an injury or some rest, we've suffered. And so now we have that depth to be able to make those, like you're saying, let's start Yaya, and
It'd be so cool.
you
man.
know,
It would be so
that would
sick
be
to see
cool.
him, man.
Or
It would be
and if
so
not
sick.
him, then Nicholson. It's just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we've got guys with some speed and some gas down the side that can get us there and get those crosses in, and then second half of the second half, if that's when Barrios comes in, then dude, that's great. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
stoked about that. I
agree.
love that we can do that through this month of like a super rough schedule. I'm super pumped about that because normally I don't feel great about our depth.
All right, real quick before we go into plugs and wrap it up and put a cap on the road winners lounge.
I don't want the Road Winners Lounge to end, man. I want us to go in.
Let's go forever.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. And then before Mitch
Sure.
heads off,
Sure.
I don't know if you had a favorite play, but my favorite play was very
I love
low
this.
key.
Yeah,
it was
I love
very
this.
low key,
Absolutely. Let's do
and
it.
it was totally Rubio. In the first half, Rubio's in the box. He gets shoved down. He's laying on his face. The ball is on his feet, and he manages to roll the ball up his legs and pass it over his own shoulder while face down to get up and get the ball. And I just thought that was so sweet. Like, it didn't turn into anything because there were a ton of red shirts everywhere, but man, it was just pro, man. That was just pro level Rubio goodness. So I just thought it was awesome.
Joseph, how about you? Favorite play, moment, whatever from the game? There was a lot to look for.
A lot to choose from.
I'm gonna go a little bit against the grain here and pick the disallowed goal in the 98th minute.
Okay. No.
From not the Yaya goal, the Red Bull goal that was disallowed for offside in the 99th, whenever it was, just because of I have never felt my emotions swing in two completely different directions like that. Yeah, so quickly. I'm pretty sure I woke up a neighbor yelling, "No!" as I saw the ball go into the box, and I knew the Red Bulls had number. I knew they had three guys right in front of Yarbrough, and I was like, "Oh no!" And then it went in, and I thought it was over. I thought, there went the road win. That was the classic Rapids into this game that we all should have seen coming. But hey, listen, when Fisher put his hand up like this, I was just relief, a combination of relief, joy, ecstasy. It's been it was the perfect moment to encapsulate that game, I think.
It was the Statue of Liberty pose we all wanted to see out of New York.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Shout out Dev Machine dropping specials for the tailgate. You're right, cheesesteaks on the menu at the C38 tailgate this weekend, y'all. I think my favorite moment is the disallowed goal that wasn't by the Rapids. I think with a combined age of 60, you saw Lucas, Max, and Yaya with just a perfectly executed break. It just, you saw the potential with the Max and the Yaya and all these young guys that Porg has built up, which is like almost an entire team, almost, not quite. Still has a couple pieces to find here and there, but there's just, you see a future 11 out of these guys. But obviously my favorite, because that one didn't count. My favorite, it's got to be the Keegan goal. Got to be Keegan.
Oh, yeah. You've been asking for it all year.
Man. I know.
I think he predicted it on the first ever DNVR pod.
I did.
I watched. I think he's done it on every single one since. And
not all of them. Probably half of them. But then, that's fine. Look, that's my guy. Keegan's my guy, man. I've talked to him a bunch around the ground. He's I think he's a stand-up dude. I think in terms of the way this team has been shaped, the 11 has been shaped. He's been asked to play center back. He's been asked to stay back on the outside. He's been asked to play up on the outside. Tonight, he was all over the place. Even with the penalty at the end of the game, I thought he was amazing. And that goal was amazing. So, that's going to be my guy. Just up and down, just heart. This team showed heart for the first time. And that's really what you want to take away, right? Because when we were in the depths of sadness last post-game lounge, it was dark. I think Joseph was in the comments, right? Were you on? No,
I was in the comments.
You were in the comments, man. It was rough. It was sad. It was despair. And I pulled out a quote from our good friend AJ Hafley of the DNVR Avalanche, which is when a team shows you who they are, believe them. And I said, this team hasn't shown heart. This team hasn't showed that they can fight back when you need to fight back, right? When they let the other team dictate when the game is over on the road too often. And tonight they said, fuck that. We are getting this dub. I don't care how we get it. 5 goal scorers, five different goal scorers tonight. And that's something that I did not think I was going to say. I think in the office, I wouldn't have put it on this show, but I think in the office, they're never winning a road game this season. And I was down. I was as down as you could possibly be. And tonight they showed it. They showed, is that going to be a trend? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see until they're down on the road again, right? But for now, we get to ride a wave of what is definitely the best performance since Decision Day last year. Maybe Minnesota last year. I mean, is this
I don't
the
know
best?
if I'd call it the best performance.
Not performance, but game, best win.
Fun win,
yes.
Sure. Performance,
rally.
I don't know.
We scored. 5 down 2-0, down 3-1.
They did concede 4.
They did concede 4, and 2 penalties.
And
you're
2
right.
penalties.
You're right.
So
okay,
I mean,
all right.
We played better.
Oh, okay. Now's the time to be too serious in the winners' lounge. Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, my bad.
Listen,
my bad for speaking in hyperbole on a winners' lounge. Okay, cool.
We can. I think we can be ecstatic about how the forwards play, or how the attack as a unit sort of clicked tonight. Even though, even though a guy like Zardes didn't, get any big chances. His link-up play was good. Rubio had a great game, and
on those Lewis runs that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
I thought Zardes had perfect position to catch that pass. Like he keeps, and he does this a lot. He just gets on the right, like on the correct shoulder of that center back and rides them into the box. And I noticed it tonight. Lewis, it ended up looking like a shot, and you could tell he just didn't get his foot on it right. Lewis had a run that should have ended on Zardes' foot and instead went straight to the keeper. Anyways, you're right. He's doing the little things right, and he's not getting the big moments. I just had to say that because I noticed specifically that he seems to be getting on the right track on these runs.
But listen, like the first 2 goals that the Rapids conceded were pretty soft goals to concede.
Yes, very soft.
And now that we're coming up on the tail end of the pod and all the hype and energy is dying down, I think it is probably a good time to sort of acknowledge that is a pretty big trend this season. And the Rapids have really not been able to score this many goals in a game, at all, like this season. So while I was really happy to see them come back in the way they did, and really happy to see the first road win of the year, they got to get this sort of soft goals under wraps, because
the heart attack.
The reason why they kept losing road games earlier this year is because they kept doing stuff like this. This is when they outplayed Dallas earlier in the season and lost 3-1 to 3 pretty soft goals.
Maybe that's just free kick goal of the year, though. That was sick.
That's fair.
Yeah, one of those was epic.
But they just need to cut that out, because that's going to stop. That's going to prevent a playoff push. And now, they're in a great position.
Yes.
Right? I mean, they're not in a great position. They're in a redeemable position.
They're not out of it.
They're not out of it.
They're not out.
Look, what we saw was. Sorry, go ahead.
No. By all means, Duane, take it away.
I want to hear it.
I think what we saw is both what we dread about the Rapids this season and also what we've been hoping for. Mm-hmm. So, and it played out at the very beginning of the match and the very end of the match, dude. Right? And it's everything that we've been bummed out about for every loss is the mental mistakes. And then we start with a really bad giveaway by Lawless that turns into a really soft goal. And you're like, man, and maybe we'll get it back. And then it's like a minute later, there's another one. And it was just like, oh my God, not again. And so here we are right in the same place that we've been, so many road games all season. And then we have been begging to see some sort of fight to feel like we're still in it. And we haven't gotten that after the soft goals and the mental lapses of the first half. And then we got that tonight. So we got what we are used to, which is a bummer. And we got what we wanted, which is awesome. And thankfully what we wanted was one more goal than what we gave up, and we didn't want. So
it's a perfect way of putting it.
But it wasn't 2. It was just the one, and that's okay. They came away with the win. So
I grew up playing hockey, and I was a goalie, and it was always, the goal.
I didn't know that.
Oh yes, sir. Absolutely, I fit the bill.
My first soccer coach put me in goalie before everybody got their growth spurts, and I stayed, a shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is to, block one more shot than the other team.
Yep.
And as
And that's what
a
happened.
former goalie, I think about that for soccer as well. And it's just like, just make one less mistake than the other team. I don't care if we win 11-10. I don't give a shit about
Could
goal
you imagine? I
differential.
would
I
lose
just
my
don't
mind.
care. Yeah, I just don't care. Like, as long as we win, I don't care how pretty or ugly it is. Like, don't care. And so that's what we got tonight. We got some ugly, and we got some dog.
Dog, baby.
That's
Dog,
what we've been
dog. The
wanting.
dog meter was through the roof, baby.
Oh, I say that just to
It
get
was like a
Mitch to say
freaking.
it.
It was like a freaking pound in here, dude. So much dog. It was like
Just
Dev set up the grill in New Jersey. There's so much dog going on.
I was one more mention of dog away before I muted that word on Twitter, and I think you may have just broke me. Just
sorry,
now.
dude.
I gotta serve it up to Mitch.
Can't stop the dogs, baby. Dogs are barking. All right, that was a perfect way to cap it. Thank you, Dwayne. There. I just answered a quick question from Mark. Next live cast will be Thursday. Yaya will be back. The whole gang will be back together. Hopefully, we'll be discussing another move. Maybe John Brooks, like Zach said in the comments. Who knows? Yeah, like Kale just reminded me in the chat. I can't believe I missed that. I was too hyped about this win.
I had you covered. Don't worry.
Kale, if you got the graphic, man, throw it up right now. August 20th, man. DNVR times C38. We're taking over, baby. Come with us. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great time. All the DNVR gang's going to be there. We'll be hanging out at the C38 tailgate. We'll all get to sit together over in the corner where Diego Rubio loves to celebrate after goals. So you'll see it happen for sure. No doubt, 100% guaranteed by me right now. So take that for what it is. It's $50, gets you the seat, gets you the tailgate pass, and you can get that right there in the DNVR locker. I'll pin that to the top of the Twitter account, and so you can just grab it there if you want. It's gonna be a great time. Come hang out with us. I'm dragging I'm gonna drag as many of the Broncos, Rockies, Avs guys as I possibly can. Make them come and hang out with us. It's going to be a great time. Dwayne will be there for sure. Joseph will be there for sure.
I'm
definitely
always
for
there.
the hangout. He's always there. Ethereal. Man, I can't believe I forgot that. I'm just so hyped about
I had you
win.
covered.
I can't believe I forgot about that. That was
going to be my plug.
Come say hi to us at the tailgate.
Oh, yeah, the Nuggets guys are going to be in Serbia, dude.
Yeah,
that's
Dylan and Kale, our producer tonight. They're all going to Serbia.
They're going to be in Serbia hanging out with Nikola Jokic, riding his horses and stuff. It's going to be sick.
Y'all need to make sure to just come out this weekend too when the Rapids play Minnesota. Because
I'll be meeting up with Joseph at the tailgate on Saturday for sure. I haven't been out there in a while. I've missed a few games for a wedding, missed homesick. I've been missing
It's a
games.
big 6-pointer. The Rapids, if they pull it off, I mean, hell, we may see a new player or two there.
Yeah, at least.
The Rapids pull it off. There are suddenly 2 wins on the bounce.
Yeah.
With only 1 loss in their last 6.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe this is when it starts.
This could be it. This game that we just watched could be the start of a legendary run. Joseph,
but we have said that.
You're right. So forget the other time we said it. This is the only one that matters. Joseph, go ahead and plug your stuff, bud.
Guys, listen, if you want long form, like sort of Rapids tactical analysis, game previews, all that sort of jazz, I have it on my website.
XG,
JosephSamuelson.com.
Goals added.
You can also
you name it.
You can find the random nuggets of trivia and stats that I stumble across during my hours of research. I post on my Twitter account. So if you like that, give me a follow over at JSPSAM. It's right there.
Right there.
Yeah, that's right
Follow
there.
Joseph.
You guys see it.
Joseph is he is truly passionate, and it shows through in that he knows basically everything that you need to know about the Rapids. So ask him stuff; he will answer.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love answering. I love getting
tell
good
him
questions.
DNVR sent you. So enter promo code DNVR at JSPSAM. Dwayne, go ahead and plug away, bud.
I was gonna plug the takeover, so we got it covered already.
I can't believe I forgot. I'm
I had
embarrassed.
you. That was gonna be my plug, dude. I had you.
You should plug it again, anyways. Just to
I'm
make
gonna
sure.
plug it again. Come hang
Yeah.
out with us at the takeover. It's gonna be super fun. We would love to meet all of those of you in the comments that we haven't met yet, or those that even download the pod and listen to it when we're not live. We want to hang out with you too. So come hang out at the takeover. In the meantime, make sure you get prepped for the takeover at DNVRlocker.com and get yourself one of those sweet DNVR scarves and the graphic on the subway train. If you notice that little Easter egg in the graphic today.
Right there. You see it? I'm pointing at it right now.
Or one of these
Bam.
super
Bam.
sweet
Bang,
DNVR
bang.
Rapids shirts.
Right.
Yeah, and if you want to chat, you can always hit me up on Instagram, but I'm never on there anymore. On Twitter.
Instagram? What? Where did that come from?
I don't know why it says that.
Is that a video platform now?
I don't know what that
That's
is.
where you find TikToks
it's TikTok,
2 days
right?
later. Yeah,
It's the TikToks.
yeah. It's
the
recycled
TikToks
TikTok.
after the TikToks. I'm allowed a brain fart because I predicted this win. So I can say whatever I want today.
Literally,
it's our
podcast. You can say whatever you want, baby. Winners Lounge. I've said all sorts of things that I'm sure I will regret at some point. I don't care.
Yeah, so come say hi on Twitter.
You come to us, baby. I'm
and listen,
handing them out.
Big ups to Duane
for
being the man who started tonight off by predicting the win. He was on Twitter yesterday saying that this is going to happen.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, he put a spoiler alert and everything. So, I mean, if you missed it, it's because you just missed the spoiler alert. So, but the point is, listen, we all had this team not picking up this win.
Nope.
Yeah, even Yaselina wherever he is.
He was in earlier.
Floating down a lazy river in Cancun.
Was not expecting anything out of this game. I wasn't expecting anything more than a draw out of this game. Mitch wasn't expecting
I literally said in the office this morning, they're never winning on the road again this season. So what do you know? You're welcome.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure. And I
was there.
I said it. I'm pretty sure I said it right after they conceded 2 goals, right?
Yeah,
I was like, it's never going to happen.
No.
But you know what? You know who held the faith and had the team, from the beginning winning this game? It was Duane. So go give him a follow.
His
graphics are legendary.
Follow Duane at Invisible Labs. Follow me on Twitter at Mitch__ Carroll. Go to DNVR Sports on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that little thumbs up right down there ish, give or take. Hit it. It helps us out a bunch. Go to thednvr.com. Get your subscription. I will send you your login and stuff. It'll be super awesome. We'll be email friends and real friends and podcast friends.
A t-shirt.
Get a t-shirt. Get a scarf. What else? Be here Thursday. Be here Saturday for the post game. More important than all of that. More important than everything we just said this entire time.
What could it be?
And it always, man. It's on the scarf. It's on the graphics. You've already dropped it in the chat, baby. Up the Pids.
Up the Pids.
Up the Pids.